and welcome to Hunter Fuel, a supernatural rewatch podcast for adults who enjoy their show with a chaser. I'm Liz,
And I'm Lynn.
and we are so excited that you're going to join us for season 3, episode 3, Bad Day at Black Rock. We model responsible drunkenness here. All participants are way over 21. No one will be driving, operating heavy machinery, handling weapons, or accidentally setting ourselves on fire. If you're going to play along with us, those are the rules. If you decide not to follow them and you do something stupid, don't blame us. Lynn, what are you drinking this evening?
I went back to an old favorite, good old
Okay.
straight bourbon.
Straight. Oh, you've got yourself some hunter fuel there.
Yes,
Excellent
I
choice.
do.
So, do you have a guess what the theme of this week's cocktail is?
Ah, it, I definitely have a guess now. Whether there's a cocktail named this, I have no idea.
Well,
Because
let's find out.
I think if you didn't go with some version of a rabbit's foot, I'm going to be disappointed.
It's like you know me. The featured cocktail for this episode is indeed called a rabbit's foot, and it is 1 ounce each of rum and cognac, 1/2 ounce each of lemon juice and orange juice, and 1/4 ounce of grenadines. Mix that all up into a cocktail shaker with some ice, shake it until it's chilled, strain, and serve. Producer Mark, would you bring up our Supernatural game cards for us, please? Ugh,
I'm
I have
not
to be
feeling it.
honest. I think I have some squares, but I think it's gonna look like Swiss cheese. One over there, one over there, one over there. Nothing in a
Yeah,
row.
I think there's going to be very. I think I've got a couple. I do mean a couple.
Well, as always, the first one is on the house. So if you're going to play along with us, there is a link for you to generate a card of your own in the link tree. Go ahead and give yourself the center square and
Cheers. Ooh,
cheers.
that's pretty.
Mm. Hmm. I like that. It's not bad.
I'm not surprised that you like that. Just judging by going by the ingredients.
Yeah, yeah, likewise. You know what? I did want to tell you before we get started here. Uh, we always joke about, if I say something's not good, I always joke like, is it better or worse than Asylum?
Yep.
And I always say like, look, we've got to retire that one. Nothing is ever going to be worse than that. I have heard a rumor about a cocktail that is actually worse. Now, I have not tasted this myself, but my fiance and I went to Lancaster for the weekend, went to a great little spot called the Coffin Bar, which if you ever find yourself in Lancaster, and stop over at the Coffin Bar. It's a funky little spot with a great, like, macabre vibe. Their cocktails are excellent. The staff is friendly, knowledgeable. Food, the bar menu is a little limited, but it's all, fresh, really well done. They have an item on their menu, their cocktail menu, called Death. And the description is, you probably won't like it. No refunds. No, we asked our server about it, and the recipe is a closely guarded secret. But she said it smelled like a burnt tire. So I cannot say definitively with any kind of direct knowledge, but my gut tells me that's worse than an asylum. So-
Well, I mean, see, my theory is there can always be one worse. I mean, don't get me wrong, the bar is very low because I mean that thing, just judging by your facial expression and the efforts you were going to change the taste in your mouth were pretty you were getting very creative to change to change the taste in your mouth. But to me, I mean, with the fact that you literally pull a random cocktail and just shake it up regardless, I figure I mean, we got a lot of cocktails for you to shake up.
We
So
do. We do 15 seasons worth of cocktails. And I will say, here's the one thing that I'm kind of putting my thumb on the scales, though, is I mean, you're right. I make these cocktails based on their name, honestly, what
yeah.
they're called, or possibly like the primary ingredient in them, depending on the episode. But they may have an ingredient I don't care for, and there are times that I make a choice, like, okay, this is what it's called, and I'm gonna drink it. But anything since that has called for like sambuca, I'm like, nope, nope. Next, there must be some other cocktail somewhere with that name, so or similar enough name. So, mm,
I do
I,
remember I do remember the week though that I and it was actually Bloody Mary, and you were like,
right,
"Okay,
Bloody Mary.
clearly the cocktail to do is a Bloody Mary,
It
but
must be a Bloody Mary.
it must be
I
a
will
Bloody
not be
Mary."
drinking it.
So you're like, "Yes, dump that down the sink, make something that's much
That is my personal Bloody Mary cocktail recipe. So, yes, it's there. I can pretty much guarantee you, as you said, it can always be worse. However, I will not be drinking it, and I did not try the death shot at the coffin bar. So, with that, let's get this show on the road. So we are hitting play. So our then is focused really heavily on Dean's year left to live following his demon deal to save Sam's life after the events of the season 2 finale. We've got our new mystery woman and her knife that can kill demons. And surprise, mystery
better.
lady is a demon. Meanwhile, we've got a reminder of Gordon Walker and the trouble that he caused trying to blow up Sam. Um, and at the end of that, Sam got him arrested and he went off to jail. So we've got a demon war brewing. Sam has some kind of a role in it. We don't know exactly what that is, but Mystery Lady, who is a demon, says she can save Dean if Sam agrees to work with her. Cut to a prison yard, and we have a gentleman coming in to visit someone in prison. And we have our standard
Yeah.
prison phone call through the glass scene. He sits down, he picks up the phone, and he says, it's true, the Devil's Gate opened up in Wyoming. And this great Sterling K. Brown lifts his head up, and we see he's come to visit Gordon Walker.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, Gordon knows this gentleman, and he has put him on Sam Winchester's trail. So this guy, whose name is Kubrick, he says, "Look, I talked to Bobby. They were at Ground Zero, but they tried to stop it. It wasn't their fault." Now, Gordon is saying, "Oh, Bobby's old. He's washed up. He's not as quick as he used to be. Sam's got him fooled." And I think it's kind of a great conversation here where Gordon is saying, "I'm not sure he's even human." And Kubrick is like, "Okay, that's a bridge too far. You're crazy." Um, And Gordon is just absolutely insistent. This guy is a part of it. I need you to track him down. I guarantee you'll see it too. And we end with these words: Sam Winchester must die. I'm going to pause it here on the title card. So, this actor, did you recognize this actor who plays Kubrick?
I want to. He looks very familiar to me.
Mhm.
There's another actor that when I was doing my research, I was shocked to find out who he was because
Mm,
I was going through the history of I was like, holy fuck, that's who that is. And
mm.
we're not at him yet, but I was like,
Okay, so it wasn't this guy.
no, but there's one guy that I'm like, shit. At least I
All
don't
right.
think
Well,
of
we
the.
will talk about that actor when we get there. The actor who's playing Kubrick is his name is Michael Massey. He has had an absolutely, well, I should say he had, tragically, he passed away in 2016. A very prolific career. He was in a ton of stuff, including 24, Rizzoli and Isles, The Amazing Spider-Man. But he is probably best known for his appearance in the 1994 film The Crow. Now, that film, the star who played The Crow, Brandon Lee, son of an actor and martial artist, Bruce Lee, was really tragically killed when a bullet fragment was left behind in an improperly prepared prop gun. Michael Massey was the actor holding the weapon when it went off.
Oh
And
fuck.
and he's talked about this, that it was a huge blow to him to have fired that gun that resulted in Brandon Lee's death. So he carried that a long time. He took a break from
Wow.
acting a little bit. So, um, he's, I argued with myself whether or not to bring it up, and here's the reason I did. Cut to 2021. Jensen was filming a movie called Rust alongside Alec Baldwin. And on the set of that film, Alec
Yeah.
Baldwin was holding an improperly prepared prop gun that went off and killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins and wounded director Joel Sousa. In response, a lot of film and TV productions, including Lynn, you and I are both fans of The Rookie, and they've
Yes.
gone this route, have stopped using these dummy rounds altogether. And so a lot of productions, they just do not allow live fire, even if it's
Yes.
dummy rounds. That all of the guns that are used on set are not functional. They do not fire, and the muzzle flashes and things are added in post in CGI. So I thought it was an interesting sort of confluence of events that
Yes.
Michael Massey and Jensen worked together on this episode of Supernatural, and flash forward a couple of decades, and now Jensen has a not dissimilar experience. Now, he was not the one holding the gun, although they did find at least one live round in the bandolier that was part of Jensen's costume. So I thought it was an interesting thing, and I just wanted to mention that. So,
Now,
uh,
and the
go ahead.
two things I wanted to bring up before we hit play because I literally
Okay.
had my finger hovering over the pause button when
I
you
was too
hit
fast
pause.
for you.
Yeah. Or we were both thinking the same thing, but yes, you are too
Hmm.
fast for me. um, is and it's going to be very blatantly obvious throughout this episode that I have a few issues with this episode. I'm just going to put that
I
out there because
I fully expected you to not be a fan of this one. You do not like the funny ones. Not there's not been one comedic episode thus far that you have enjoyed, and I didn't think this one was going to break the streak.
No, but it's not because of the comedy that I don't like
Okay.
it. It's because
All
there are
right.
so many holes in this episode, it's Swiss cheese,
I
and
understand.
I'm gonna explain every single one of them. Um
Oh, we have something to look forward to then.
Yes, and I'm drinking straight bourbon, so this is really gonna be interesting. Um, is who the fuck number 1, is it just now it's in a blink of an eye that I really caught the resemblance, but when and you know me with actors' names, I can never remember anyone's name to save my life. But the gentleman talking to Gordon, which, as I said, we all know how good I
Michael
am at
Massey
yeah,
playing Kubrick. Yes.
good. When he walks in to the jet and they're doing the wandy thingy,
Right.
for lack of a better phrase, for a split second, does he not remind you of Chris Pratt? He has a resemblance. I'm not saying he's a spitting image by any, but like I actually did a double take for a brief second. I was like, holy fuck, he looks just like Chris Pratt in that one frame.
Okay.
Um, but anyways, and I know I've commented on this before, is who in the world, you know, those phone calls are being recorded.
I know.
Who says this person must die in a phone that is being recorded?
Yeah. We have talked about this before, particularly in Fulton Prison Blues, that
Yeah.
there is no expectation of privacy. And so clearly, and in a way, I think it's sort of it's kind of cute, for lack of a better term, that apparently no one in the writers' room at Supernatural had a nefarious past.
Yeah. But it's like,
But yeah, they you have to suspend a lot of disbelief whenever the show interacts with the criminal justice system.
which drives me crazy though, because they're so good at doing their research and generally getting their facts right and all of that. And for a show
I hear where
that's
you're coming from.
so good,
I
can
hear where
you
you're coming from. So here's something I'm going to challenge you with. Is here's my question. We need this information that Gordon is still kind of manipulating events from prison.
yes.
How how do we get that information? If they can't use the phones because they're tapped, what would you have preferred to see instead?
Like even
See, it's
there
tough,
there
right?
even like there's got to be a way that he's probably bribed someone on the inside to slip a note out or some or like something. Just the phone to me is just it's it's just too obvious. Like
I
it's
hear what you're
just
saying. I hear
it's
what you're
too
saying, and you're not wrong. I I am prepared to extend a little bit of grace to them, even though, okay, real world, it's not right because they only have 42 minutes for storytelling. Like there's
I hear
information
you.
they have to convey to us, and a montage of notes being passed back and forth, I think would have taken up too much time. So I said, I completely agree with you. I don't know what a better solution would be given time and budgetary constraints.
I hear you. I hear you. As I said, just
Yep.
for a show that's so good and usually closes those loopholes and all of that, it annoys me when they leave them
Yep,
so wide open.
that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Anything else you wanted to bring up before we hit play?
Nope, those were the two things I
All
just
right.
wanted to mention.
Okay. Off we go.
Yeah.
So coming out of the title card, we find Sam and Dean on the road in the Impala, and Dean is arguing passionately with Sam to not get involved with this demon chick. We find out her name is Ruby. So we haven't seen this on screen up to this point. At some point after the camera cut at the end of the prior episode, she must have told him her name was Ruby, and he apparently has shared that with Dean. We do have a dude, which we will stop and look for in a little bit. But I think this is a really interesting conversation
Mhm.
here, and watching their body language that we've got this, older
Oh,
brother, like Jesus Christ, this chick is no good. You should not be within 1,000 miles of her. And the younger brother, like, "Oh, nobody ever trusts me, man." Like his face, like Jared's performance here is very like, I'm a grown ass man. I know what I'm doing, and
I think that
they have,
major eye roll in the beginning was like,
yes.
"You have to be kidding with me."
Yep. Yep. Agreed. So, um, phone starts ringing. The boys are like, "Nope, not mine, not mine." And it's a phone that belonged to dad that Dean has kept charged up in case anybody tries to call John.
Is it just me,
We
or do you wonder, like, okay, who's paying the bill for that?
Yeah, seriously. Well, no one is paying the bill. Definitely not them because they live by credit card fraud and identity theft. So they are definitely not paying the bill. John wasn't paying it, neither are they. But there we find out there is a storage locker outside of Buffalo, New York, that has been broken into. And we hear Sam say, just lock it up, don't call the police. I'll come get there. Cut to now Kubrick is in an RV. He's got another gentleman with him. The two of them are clearly hunters. So he's enlisted some help. Um, we have along the screen here, we see Lauren Cohan. Her name peers up and she has lead billing. So just like Katie Cassidy, we have, in addition to Jared and Jensen, we have two female cast members who are leads this season. And we realized pretty quickly that Kubrick is an extremely religious man. He has, in addition to just an incredible arsenal cage in this RV, he also has many portraits of an extremely white, blue eyed Jesus. And we call this "Don't play with my Jesus."
Jesus.
So we realize he's a bit of a zealot.
Yeah.
A gentleman of faith, and he's kind of he loves him, that Jesus. Cut back to Sam and Dean. They are picking a
Mm,
lock here,
well,
so we will look for that in a moment as well. And they break into this storage locker of dad's, and there's a demon trap on the floor. Uh, blood
blood.
everywhere. I mean, it's not like you know, but there's a lot of blood.
Yep.
Uh, booby trap wire leading all the way up to this shotgun propped up in what appears to me to be a boar skull. And he's like, dear old
Oh,
dad.
yeah.
So whoever tried to break into this, it was a two-man job, and one of them is wounded. One of them has been shot pretty badly. Um, written by Ben Edlund, who I'm a big fan of Ben Edlund's,
Yep.
and excuse me,
Ooh.
directed by, we're about to see it, Robert Singer. There it is.
Uh,
So the guys are looking through this old storage locker of dad's, and they find Sam's 1995 division championship soccer trophy. So John kept this.
yeah.
Uh, and Dean says it was probably the closest you ever came to being a boy.
I
And
love that
then
line.
he gets, I do too, it's a great line. And then he's so excited. He's like, "Oh, my
Oh,
first sawed off. I
oh,
made this myself. It looks grade,
Sixth
like little
grade.
puff of dust that like pops,
He
and
look
I
he looks so proud of that
he's
thing.
so proud. He's so
Oh,
proud, like, but again, this gives us a real look at the difference in the boys' childhoods that,
yeah.
Dean, at the same age, Dean had a shotgun, Sam had a soccer trophy.
Yeah.
Um, and as they continue to kind of look around the storage locker, there's just a shit ton of guns and explosives. None of that is stolen. So whoever broke into this, they were not just looking for things of value they could steal.
They knew
Um,
exactly what they were going for.
this was a targeted strike, right? And they've got all of these boxes that are locked up and lined up on the shelves. They've got um symbols and sigils on them, and there's a big spot in the dust with a little bit of blood in it that one of them is clearly missing. And
Yeah.
Sam says, this was dad's toxic waste dump. We hear Dean say, well, maybe they didn't open it. And then we cut
You
to these two guys. One
right.
of them's bleeding and he's like, I'm going to open it.
Oh,
So
so, yeah,
whatever, go ahead.
so the one holding the knife who is about to pry that box open
Uh huh.
is is on a show that
You know
I
what? I'm going to pause this. Go ahead.
yeah. So he actually plays a character. He is actually on When Calls the Heart, which
Oh,
I
your
know
Tears
you.
of My Bleeding Heart show.
Yes, he plays Ned. So, which now that I see when I saw the actor's picture, it looks nothing but now that I re-see it, it's like, okay, yes, that is absolutely Ned. But when I saw like his actual like the formal picture that you
Right.
see on the internet, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
holy crap, he looks so
Oh, that's
different.
who
But
that is.
yeah, I was like,
It is
well,
funny how, some of these actors, like, you just make small changes to hair and wardrobe, clean shaven versus a little bit of stubble and just their performances. It's sometimes they can be really difficult to recognize in a different role.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm used to seeing him in a timepiece where they're more often on horseback and
Mm.
going on buggy, and there's very rarely a car in it versus this. So
Yeah, he will not be riding any horses in this episode. Not but
no,
we do
no, he
have
won't.
some horseshoes. So, you know what? While we have it paused, so we had a lockpick and a dude. Why don't we go ahead and look for those? I have a
Yeah.
dude.
I do
Uh,
not. I
I
don't even think I have a. Oh wait a minute. I know. Yes, I do have pick a
oh,
lock.
I do also. I have both of those.
Yay!
I was about to say I have kick in a door, but not pick a lock. But no, I do in fact have kick a lock or pick a lock. Pick in a door
We
or
haven't
pick
even
a
had
lock.
that
Take
much
your
to
pick.
drink yet.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be great. All right, cheers.
Cheers. Actually,
Mhm. All right. So let's go ahead and hit play here. So just as When Calls the Heart man is about to pop open this lock, the other guy says he refers to the person who paid them to steal it as a stuck up bitch. So I love the
oh,
tension as he slowly
boy.
opens this box, like you're waiting for a bright light and a choir of angels as he's
Yeah.
like opening it and he
Huh?
goes, "Huh?" And it's a rabbit's foot. Now he picks
Oh.
it up and you hear sort of a like a zzzz kind of noise. So something has happened as he's picked up this damn rabbit's foot. The guy who was shot, and he's like, "I'm bleeding to death. I'm gonna die, and all we have is this stupid rabbit's foot."
Yeah.
He tosses it back down on the table. Somebody knocks on the door and he's like, "Look, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. What are you two shouting about? Oh, we've got a situation. I'm sorry." Coincidentally, this gentleman who has knocked on their door was a combat medic. And he's like, "Oh, go get my bag. It's under my sink." So,
And
uh,
he
mm,
makes a very key line here in a second of,
this is
I
your
guess
lucky
this,
day.
yep, and that is the line from that seems to be the theme of the show.
That
This is
today
your
is your lucky day until it isn't.
until it isn't. Yeah.
Sam and Dean are pulling up into this alley here. They they spot the license plate of the people who robbed the storage locker. Like, should have blacked out your license plate before you parked in front of a security camera. Um, Cut back to our two thieves. They are playing cards. We have another lockpick. And the guy who touched the rabbit's foot, he cannot lose. He's getting royal flushes, and it's his second in eight
Eight.
hands. Like the odds against this are crazy.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean are kind of sneaking into the apartment here, and uh here it is. I was too early. We're not handing this over to that stuck-up bitch. Um, Sam and Dean start screaming, "Freeze, don't move, give us the box. Please tell me you didn't." Sam's like, "Oh, they did. They opened the box."
Oh, you opened it.
uh,
You are a moron.
what was in the box? Which, of course, I keep thinking of Seven. What's in the box? They have blacked out their windows with some scantily clad lady
Oh,
photos. And there's this insane, like, we have a weapon drop.
wow.
The bullet, like, it's like the Keystone Cops. You know what? I'm gonna stop this and back it up and go over this again because everything happens so quickly here. It's crazy. So Dean drops his weapon and it goes off. The bullet ricochets around the apartment, knocks Sam's gun out of his mouth, or out of his mouth. What's wrong with Sam have a gun in his mouth? Knocks it out of his hand. Sam and Dean collide together. Dean goes through a table. Sam gets tackled. The other guy gets on top of him. Dean gets whacked in the face. He's knocked out. So Dean is unconscious. Sam is getting choked. And Sam is trying desperately to get his hand on this rabbit's foot. He finally does. The luck transfers to him. He kicks he kicks this guy across the room. He's knocked out. And there's this moment here where the bad guy who was shot gets a hold of Dean's gun, points it right at Sam, pulls the trigger, and it jams. It misfires. He then trips and collapses. Sam and Dean are standing there like, I didn't do anything. Bad guy number 2, pulls a bookshelf down on himself, knocks himself out. The gun flies across the room, so Sam and Dean are standing there, and they're like, "That's a lucky break. Is that a rabbit's foot?" And Sam's like, "I think it is." Okay, I'm gonna pause this here. 'Cause, I mean, it's like watching the Keystone Cops, like, this is slapstick comedy at its finest, like, anything that can go wrong goes wrong. And somehow, just because he got a hold of this rabbit's foot, it all goes Sam's way. So, all right, we have a weapon drop, a choke, an unconscious person, uh, and there's a ton more coming. They're gonna come fast and furious here. So let's look at
Okay,
these.
okay. One of the boys drops their weapon.
Yes.
Holy crap.
And you know what? I would be prepared to do someone gets thrown against a wall here too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we've got someone gets
Uh,
thrown against a wall.
now,
Uh, that
and
might be the only one I have at this point.
I'm trying to remember, did someone get conked in the head in that scene?
Yes, yes, because Dean gets whacked in the face with the gun.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so I have
Yep.
that one.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
we have
god.
a conked in the head.
I can't even blame the alcohol. Every time I watch that scene, I laugh that I lose it. Oh, that scene
And
cracks me up. Um, I think
and a
those are
wall
the
toss.
only two I've got.
Yeah, because out of Dean drops his weapon, somebody gets conked in the head, somebody gets tossed into a wall, a choke, and an unconscious person. Out of all of that, I have someone gets thrown against a wall.
Yeah. Uh,
All right, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna
All
pull myself
right.
a small one then, since I just have one. And by
I've
small, I mean like half.
right. Holy crap. That was funny as hell.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh god, I'm glad you were trying you had to say that scene and not me.
Oh my goodness, that it's
Since I couldn't even breathe.
yeah, this is a level of like slapstick comedy that we don't even in episodes that are funny don't have this.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm hitting play. Dean has gone to a convenience store and gotten scratch off tickets,
Of course he has.
and
Of course, I can't
he
blame
hands
him. I think
them.
I would have done the same thing.
No, I don't blame him at all. Hands them to Sam, and he's like, Get scratching." All of these tickets have some kind of a rabbit um, in them. So, like, anytime somebody's having good luck, there's a lot of rabbits in the artwork for the show. So, as Sam is like, "This is a waste of my time," he's trying to tell Dean what's really not in Dean's yeah, dad's journal.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he has won $1,200 on a scratch off ticket. Dean's like, keep scratching, boy." Uh,
Oh,
cut back to the apartment with our two robbers. The one who has been shot comes to first,
right.
and he's walking around and he's like, "Come on, dude, time to get up." He rolls a beer bottle out of the way, and we get this kind of cliched shot of the beer bottle rolling across the frame, and we think, "Oh, we know what's going to happen. He's going to slip and
Yeah.
fall on this." But he steps over it. He's okay. This is not sanitary. Like he's putting
Oh,
the dirty dishes in the rack.
dry.
The sink is disgusting. He puts a barbecue fork pointing out into the
Out.
room. If we look over his shoulder, here's that starburst clock
Yeah.
that's a favorite prop. We see that in a lot of episodes. He splashes water on his face. Um, and as he's walking back over to his friend, now he slips on the beer bottle and he falls right on this barbecue fork.
Which
Gross.
of course we didn't see coming from a mile away.
No, no, nobody could have seen that coming. Grossman comes into the room and he finds his friend with this barbecue fork protruding from his mouth, and he's had a very bad day now. Uh, Sam Sam gets on the phone with Bobby, who is screaming at him, that he's a dumbass. He's like,
Yeah.
You touched it?" He's like, "Well, I kinda didn't have a choice." Sam finds a gold
The
watch.
watch.
Um, Bobby is like, "No, this is real hoodoo, made by a Baton Rouge conjure woman about 100 years ago. It's not a luck charm, it's a curse. Like, this thing was made to kill people." And if we remember back in Bugs, the
Ugh.
boys were under the impression you can't break a curse. They all you can do is get out of its way. And Bobby is just like, "You are an idiot." And he even says, like, I don't know if we can break this. Let me go through my books. Let me see what I can do." And we get our uh nope, we don't, not yet.
No, nope.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Something's
I
coming.
was gonna say.
Um, so meanwhile, we've got a wacky diner. These two boys walk into a Biggersons, which is a supernatural, diner chain. And as they walk in, they are the 1 millionth customer. Confetti falls from the ceiling. And Dean is grinning ear to ear. Sam's making his way
Like, what
downstairs.
the fuck? Get me out of here.
Um, cut back to uh Kubrick and this other hunter. And they're like, okay, we've done everything we can do to try to find Sam Winchester. Now we've got to eat something. And they're like, ooh, garlic knots and those
Oh.
great fried onions. So we've got a lure.
And
Dean is eating, and uh Sam is saying, like, no, this is real magic. This thing is a problem. Dean, meanwhile, is a big fan of Biggersons, although he's given himself a brain freeze. Here comes a lovely young lady in a relatively short skirt who is offering to refill their coffee, and she is clearly flirting with Sam. So we have Sam gets hit on.
Yeah.
Dean checks her out. She spills the coffee. She pours it all over Sam, who's like, "I got it, I got it." She's like, "Oh no, let
Let
me."
me
And
yeah.
she walks away. Both boys are, we've got this close up of her tush as she's walking away. Uh,
Oh, that wasn't
and
slightly obvious.
and Dean is like, "Dude, if you were ever going to get lucky." And Sam immediately pours his hot coffee into his lap. He bumps into another waiter and knocks everything all over the place. And immediately they're like, "Oh crap." And
Uh,
he turns out his pocket, and the
it's
the
gone.
lucky rabbit's foot is missing. We have a son of a bitch.
Bitch.
This is Lauren Cohan, of course. We will talk about her in just a moment. She pulls off her wig and runs away with the rabbit's foot, which she has very carefully made sure to wrap up so she's not touching it. They're running after her. Sam falls. He lands face down. Tina's like, "Oh, you
Now
suck."
now, this is
Yes,
what they would consider one of the oopsies.
I would agree with this.
Because he very clearly, if you watch that,
I'm pausing it here, changing scenes. Go ahead.
is falling on his back.
Well, okay, so there's 2 things here. Yes, the way that he falls, he's kind of on his back, but when the camera cuts to him, he's on his stomach.
So
And when
yeah,
he stands up, he has skinned his knees. There's holes in his jeans and he's skinned his knees. He's bleeding.
so that will be an issue later on. But
That
yeah,
is.
so they say but there is argument, at least online, that it's very obvious, and I have to agree with them that
I
the
do too.
way he falls,
Yeah.
it's very clear
Oh,
he's going backwards
yep.
and not forwards.
And yet
He ends up on his face.
he does. He does. He lands on his face. Uh, all right. While we have it paused here, Yeah, so I will agree with you that there's something a little not quite right with the blocking there. Okay, we have a wacky diner, lore. Dean eats. Dean checks out a woman, Sam gets hit on, and a son of a bitch. Let's see what
Lots of
we've got here. I
potentials to
have a son of
drink.
a bitch. I'm sorry?
I said lots of potentials to drink here.
Yes.
Um,
Wacky
I
diner.
have a Dean
Dean
checks out or hits on a woman. I have a Sam gets hit on.
Okay, fantastic. I do not.
Because as much as it's technically not a sincere hit on, he's still getting hit on. Uh,
Yes, well, because we a couple of weeks ago we called it even when we now know her name is Ruby. Like clearly
yes.
she had an agenda, but she was flirting with him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I
Uh,
think okay, I think that's what I've got. I have Danny needs her drinks, son of a bitch, and a wacky diner. I have those three. So I am gonna pour
yeah,
myself a
I'm like
full
scouring because I'm like,
shot here.
really? Yeah, because I don't think I haven't. Not that two is not bad.
No.
Alrighty.
Mm. All right.
Uh,
Cheers.
cheers.
Mhm.
Ah,
All right.
I'm ready.
Rejoining the action here. Cut back to the two hunters inside the RV. And Kubrick has been convinced to go to a bigger sentence. They bring up the uh
Oh.
they bring up the website and there's this photo of Sam and Dean for which Kubrick looks upward to the heavens and sees this as a sign from God that this is good. Uh Cut back to poor Grossman. He is
Dumping it on
alcohol
the.
abuse.
Thank you.
He's pouring booze on the floor. Here come Sam and Dean. We can see the horseshoe, excuse me, upside down over the door. In some cultures, having that horseshoe with the ends pointed down is considered to be bad luck because the luck runs out. Um, so and Sam's shoe is untied. He shifts his weight a little bit, steps on his own shoelace, and falls over. Dean is like, you all right?" So, excuse me, Sam and Dean have gone now to Grossman, and they're like, "Okay, we know a woman hired you. A freak accident is not what killed your partner. It was the rabbit's foot. Tell us where to find her, and, we'll take care of this." And there's this scene here that's going to kind of there Dean has a line that's going to come back around where he says, "Look, I know you're not, you're no angel, but you're not a killer either." He's
No.
like, "I can read people. You're a thief and a scumbag. It's fine. You're not a killer." And we've got this great close up,
Oh.
as the camera pushes in
Oh.
on Dean, and then we cut back to the guy, and you can see he's like, "No, he's not a
No.
killer."
No.
Back to Kubrick, we've got
Kubrick.
some Christian bumper stickers, including Bethlehem or don't or Bethlehem or bust. And then he is convinced there is a higher power at work that is going to help them find Sam Winchester. Uh, and I love the scene where the other hunter comes out with the foil swan over his leftovers. Now Sam comes out, he's wearing these sneakers, and he gets gum on the bottom of his left shoe. Dean is on the phone with Bobby, and he's like, "A hot chick stole it from him." Bobby is yelling at them. Sam
Barb.
is trying to scrape the gum off the bottom of his shoe on the grate, and the name she gave the guy was, and there goes Sam's shoe down the grate. It was Lugosi because her name is Bella, and Bobby
Bella.
says frat Bella. Uh, and Sam, meanwhile, is trying to get his shoe back. Bobby says, "Well, that means seriously bad luck for you. If it is Bella, I might know some people who might know where to find her." Uh, we Here is where we get our very first idjit from Bobby. Dean turns around. He's like, "What?" And Sam looks all dejected and he says, "I lost my shoe."
Now, keep in mind, he lost his left shoe.
He lost his left shoe down the grate. I think it's an adorable
No,
performance.
no, no, keep that
Um,
in mind because
we
there's
do.
going to be a continuity issue in a little bit.
There's 2 continuity problems here coming up.
Yeah,
Uh, so
yes, and we
Dean
just heard one.
okay, I'm gonna back it up. What did we hear?
So they say, and I can't remember the location, but they say, here,
Oh,
I'm just
they're
going
in
to
Black
pause it.
Rock.
Yeah, and they say it's going to take 2 hours to do a 7 hour drive.
Yes, yeah, Black Rock is near Buffalo, or I think it's a neighborhood in
Yeah,
Buffalo, and Queens is not 2 hours from Buffalo, so that's a problem. Okay, so in that
yeah.
case, we had th we I would call that an error. I wouldn't necessarily call it a continuity error, but we are
Oh, no.
about to get to.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
no. That was just a good old fashioned goof.
that's just a good old-fashioned oops. Okay, so we've hit play.
Yes.
And Dean is like, "I'm gonna drop you off at this motel because I don't want your bad mojo getting me killed." And of course, the motel that they pick, there's Kubrick's RV. We have a quirky motel room, and as they walk in, Sam has both shoes on his feet, and no holes in the knees of his jeans.
Jeans. Yeah. So it's like, all right, come on. Like, you gotta come on,
Yes,
Supernatural. Keep things.
continuity problem here. And
I
yeah,
love that. He walks out, he's like, okay, now I can scratch my nose. Finally, as soon
yeah.
as he did that, I got as soon as he said that, as soon as Dean said that, I got itchy. It's like,
Oh,
all
of
right, you
course.
can't scratch your nose. And so it's like, all right, now my face is scratchy. It's like, thanks,
Yeah,
Dean.
it's like, don't think of a pink elephant, and the very first thing you think of is a pink elephant.
Oh,
Cut to
Putty.
Bella's apartment. I'm sorry?
I said, Putty.
A putty. Yes, we have a
A
very cute
Putty.
putty here. And I'm gonna step out on a limb and say that Lauren Cohan is not a cat person. She doesn't, she just sort of like holds her hand near the cat. Um, but the cat starts to get agitated. She looks at her security camera. We see Dean breaking in, but it appears Bella has missed it. She's got a gun, so we know Bella can take care of herself. And
Is it just me who finds it funny that she stores her gun in with wine?
it's so I think what we're supposed to get from this is that she's the kind of person who has weapons stashed all over the house. Um, and of course, Dean has written "turn around" on a Post-it
Honest-
note. And so the 2 of them are holding guns on each other. We cut to a black screen, and we are gonna come back and check our cards in a minute, but we come back from the commercial break, and Sam has just been sitting in this chair. He's gotta be bored out of his mind, and out of nowhere, the air conditioning starts to make bad noises. Smoke starts to come out of it, and poor Sam,
oh,
he's not
come
doing
on.
anything, and it just bursts into flames.
What's funny is that when he starts rocking that chair, I fully expected the chair to flip over.
I know. So if anybody's gonna
Holy
get conked in the head, it's gonna be Sam.
especially this episode.
Yeah,
It's like
so he starts to
crackle,
approach,
crackle, and he's like,
and
"Oh, fuck!"
he pulls the
And it,
bedspread off, and he's trying to smother it. Of course, the fire's inside, so I don't know how he thinks this is gonna smother it. But he's trying valiantly to smother the smoke air conditioner. It does go out, and he's like, "Okay, ooh," and then he's standing there, and all of a sudden, you see the light, and now his sleeve is on fire.
it's like,
And
"Oh,
he pulls the
fuck!"
curtain down to try to smother it. He loses his balance. He falls over. He knocks himself out. He's tangled up. And there's Kubrick and the other hunter right outside. Back to Dean and Bella. And I love this exchange between the two of them. They're trading names. They each know who the other one is. Um, Dean realizes, oh, she trades in occult objects for money.
Oh, I love this
And he's a
relationship.
little offended by it. He's like, you know, all of the bad shit that goes on in this world, and you're using it to make yourself rich rather than help people. Um, so he's pretty condescending of her, and he's like, "You become a thief," and she's like, "I'm a great thief." Um, my goodness, she is so lovely. Anyway, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk more about wrongdoing.
I love watching his facial expressions in that
Yeah,
show. Just
this is a great scene. I love it. We're gonna pause a minute and talk about some things.
Yeah.
Sam is tied up. They have now taped him to a chair.
Oh, look at
Um,
his face. He looks like a lost puppy.
he does. He just looks and his hair is ridiculous this episode. And here's where Kubrick says, "Oh, your friend Gordon asked us to track you down and put a bullet in your brain." Um, but Kubrick's got another idea. He doesn't think Gordon sent him. He thinks he's on a mission from God. And I'm going to call this torture because he starts to punch Sam. Cut back to Dean and Bella. And Dean is trying to negotiate for the foot back so that they can use this ritual from Bobby to destroy it, save Sam. And she's like, "Yes, you can have it for $1.5 million." Uh, and come to find out, our Miss Bella here has a talking board. So the last time we saw one of these was in the
Mhm.
season 2 opener, In My Time of Dying. And she's been using this to talk to the people who died as a result of contact with the rabbit's foot. Uh, and the two of them are really circling. There's this great line, "We're all going to hell, Dean. Might as well enjoy the ride." And he says, "Actually, I agree with you there." Um,
And Lord
file that
knows
away.
he is enjoying the ride, and he has stolen the rabbit's foot.
He has the rabbit's foot. She shoots at him. She can't hit him. She's breaking stuff in her own apartment. And he just sort of taunts her with it and runs out. And then as he's leaving, he like fires. He's like, "Bye-bye."
And the cat's like, I'm ducking for cover.
Indeed, indeed. Back to Sam. And now he has passed out because they're beating him. And they've splashed water on him to damn it, it's not holy water, but they have splashed water in his face to wake him back up. And he's insisting like he doesn't know anything. So the instructions from Gordon were to kill Sam Winchester, but they feel like he knows more about this demon war, and they want to know what he knows before they kill him. And Sam was like, I don't know anything. I don't know about an army of demons. I don't have any psychic powers. I don't know about any end game. I, there's nothing I can tell you that's helpful. So they're like, okay, well, in that case, time to shoot you. Um, Now the other guy is like, wait a minute. I am not comfortable with murdering a human being in cold blood here. And Kubrick is like, this can't all just be luck. And Sam is like, actually, no,
I
God led us here to do his work. This is destiny. And he's just about to shoot Sam in the head when here comes Dane. And he's like, no, it's just a rabbit's foot. So he this is kind of a fun little scene. He puts the gun down and he's like, "Okay, all right, I'll put this down. Here's something you don't know about me." And he picks this pen. It's my lucky
My
day.
lucky
And he
day.
throws the pen, it jams in the gun barrel. He's
Did you
thrilled to
see that
pieces.
shot?
Yeah, Clyde tries to punch him, lands against the wall, knocks himself out. Dean throws a remote control at Kubrick, hits him in the head, knocks him out. And he says, I'm Batman. Sam was like, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
you
Batman.
Batman.
All right, I'm going to pause it on this black screen. We've got a lot. We have a lot to do here. We have a lot to do. So we have an idiot, a quirky motel room. Sam gets tied up and tortured.
And I don't think I have any. How
I
is
have
that
torture. I
okay,
have
so
a
at least
quirky motel room. Ah, if only one of the boys had gotten arrested, or there was an evil, creepy kid, I would have 5. I have 4 in a row twice and 3 in a row 3 times.
Holy fuck.
And it's going to do me absolutely no good at all.
I've got 3 in a row. Like in the like I almost have a cross going.
Yeah, mine is more of an I-beam. All right.
All right. Well,
Cheers.
I can't let you drink alone. So
No, no, you can't. Did you not get any?
I didn't get any.
Ah, that blows.
Yeah, you're
You
telling me.
need some luck.
Yeah, apparently I did not get the rabbit's foot this episode.
Mm, well, that's probably a good thing. But
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So,
trust me. Dying is not on my to-do list.
all right. So this line here where Dean says, I'm Batman. In 2016, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who obviously plays John Winchester,
Yes.
and Lauren Cohan, who we've just met as Bella, played Bruce Wayne's parents in Batman v Superman: Dawn of
Ah.
Justice. Also, Jensen would go on to voice Batman in the 2021 animated films Batman: The Long Halloween, Parts 1 and 2, as well as the 2023 Legion of Superheroes and the 2024 Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy. So Jensen is Batman. Uh, all right. Anything
I
else you want to mention before we move on here? I know, like, holy crap, there's a lot. We didn't talk much about Lauren Cohan. Anything you want to say before we go back and talk about her?
Oh god. Now, as I said, I mean, I'm enjoying the silliness of it. It's the Swiss cheese part that
Right?
just bothered me. Because trust me,
Okay.
I don't, as you know, I don't laugh this. I can't fake laughing this hard.
No, no, you're not. And actually, Well, let's hold that conversation for a bit later. The
Right.
one thing I will say about Lauren Cohan is I recognized her from one of my favorite TV shows with Zachary Levi and Yvonne Strahovski called Chuck.
Wow.
So I recognized her from that. But she would, of course, go on to be on The Walking Dead for and multiple spin-offs.
Yeah, and I will not be touching that show with a 10-foot pole if I want to sleep at night. So,
I understand. I do. All right. We've got just a couple minutes here, so let's hit play. The boys are in a cemetery. They are working this ritual Bobby has found to destroy the rabbit's foot, and Dean is furiously scratching scratch off tickets to try to win as much money as possible, and while he's still got the luck. He says he looks at the rabbit's foot. He says, "Say goodbye to the wascally webbit." And just as they're about to throw it on the fire, here
this
comes
is
Bella. And she's got a gun. She's like, "Put the foot down."
honey.
And Dean tries this line like, "See,
Oh,
I happen to be able to read people. Now you're a thief, but you're not a," and she shoots Sam.
shoots him. Oh, son of a.
And yep. And she's like, "Make one more move, I'll pull the trigger." You and she's like, "Okay, you, I can't hit, but your brother, him I can't miss." And if there is one thing that is going to just drive Dean to the edge of sanity, it's hurting his little brother.
Yeah.
Uh, so their relationship with Bella does not get off to a good start.
Nope.
And she's insistent, "You're gonna give me this rabbit foot right now." And so Dean fakes her out. He pretends he's gonna just set it down. And then he says, "Think fast." And he tosses it to her, trusting that she will just kind of catch it by reflex. So now that
like
she's caught the rabbit's foot, he's like, "Okay, what do you say we destroy that ugly ass piece of dead thing?" So now she is suddenly much more interested in destroying the rabbit's foot, breaking the curse. There's kind of a fun little close-up shot with the sparks, and she's like, "I'm out 1.5 million. Thank you so much." And he's like, "Yeah, fuck you." You know, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. So as she's walking away, she kind of pauses and props her elbow on this gravestone that Dean has draped his jacket over. She's
yeah,
like, "Oh, have a nice night, boys." She walks away.
that drives me
And
crazy.
I'm sorry?
That that whole thing drives me insane.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. We're almost done here. So as they're the boys are walking away now, they're like, "Okay, well, I'm back to normal. No good luck, no bad luck." He's like, "Ooh, ooh, wait, I've got all these scratch off tickets." And he starts going through his pockets and he's
Everything.
like, "Fuck, they're gone." And just as the camera pans around, there goes Bella, honks at them, "Bye bye." And she's got Dean's scratch off
Scratch off.
tickets. So she might
Of
have
course.
lost $1.5 million, but she's got a couple of grand. Watch this here. I'm going to play this again. We've got a son of a bitch. I'm backing it up. Watch Sam's face. Well,
I was gonna
really watch
say, Sam's.
Jared's face. Dean,
Yeah,
Dean sounds son of a bitch, and you can see Jared break character. That was not in the script.
I was gonna say because he definitely smiles there.
He did. He did. That's why, Jared looks away from the camera because he's trying to hold on while they're filming. So here comes Kubrick back, and he's like, "I'm on a mission from God. It's divine will." And you can see Gordon like, "This
What?
dude's crazy,
Yeah.
but I can use this." Like, okay, all right, sure, let's go with mission from God. Good on ya. You got to get me out of here. And again, we've got the Sam Winchester must die. And that is our episode.
So, oh. So much to talk about.
Indeed. Okay, so talk to me about what bothers you about this gravestone, unless is that the thing that you hated?
No.
Okay, so go ahead and talk about it now then.
Dean has tremendous instincts.
He does.
He's got $46,000 basically in his hands. He's
Right.
not going to put them into his jacket pocket and then leave his jacket out of his reach with that much money.
I hear where you're going.
Like, come on.
Now they
Like,
weren't expecting anyone else to show up at a cemetery in the middle of the night, but I hear where you're coming from. It does seem a little out of character.
but then he would have, I feel like he would have creatively done something to be like, wait a minute. She's between me and 46 grand. I ain't cool with this.
Yeah, it again, I can't disagree with you. As a um in addition, she did just shoot his brother. I can see how that would be distracting to him.
I can't disagree there,
Yeah.
but it just that was one of the holes in the Swiss cheese for me was just like it's just like come on, dude. Come on.
I hear where you're coming from.
It annoyed me. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I understand. I understand. So, all right. Well, with that, let's take a last look at our cards here. So, Linton, how did you how did you make out?
I had 6.
You have 6 total
Yep.
and
I have 3
3
in
in
a
a
row
row.
times I have 3 in a row times 2.
All right. And I haven't gotten any more since we talked about it before. So I have the most I have in a row is 4.
Yeah.
And then I have that twice and I have 3 times
Yeah,
for a
you
total of
rocked.
9.
Yeah, you rocked it.
Yeah, everything but everything but something, just I needed like one more. I needed the boys to get arrested, a creepy evil kid. Yeah, I'd have even taken a Sammy and somebody crying. Like,
Oh, trust me, I hit Sammy.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we didn't get that one tragically. All right. So one thing you loved and one thing you hated. I know you've said that this was not your favorite
N-
episode that we've seen so far.
I'm going to start with the thing that I didn't did not, and I know I've kind of pounded it into the sand, so it's not going to be a shock by any stretch. Is for a show that rarely loses continuity.
Mhm.
Like you might get one, you don't usually get 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Just to me, there were a lot of missed opportunities
Mhm.
in this one. Just I feel like the attention to detail was not there.
Okay.
Um, as far as what I loved, believe it or not, I did I liked the I did like the funny comedy. Like at times did I think they took it a little far? Yes. Like in kind of did the same thing over and over again, but I get that that was the point of the show. Like that was the
Right.
point of this episode. Clearly I thought it was funny. I laughed my ass off. So yeah, but no, I mean I definitely thought it was fun. But as I said, just that and the other thing that is annoying me was some of the things that I thought were very obvious. I mean, not that they
Mm.
don't occasionally do that, but it was like you knew the beer bottle and the fork were a recipe for it's like little bit of subtlety would have been nice. It's like, come on, you knew exactly where they were going.
I hear where you're coming from, and I'm gonna make an analogy to a film I know you have not seen, but the original Quiet Place. It got it got, some negative feedback from viewers that it was too obvious, and having watched it, I would say that it's not that it's obvious, it's that they're using those things to build tension in a very Hitchcockian way. That, Alfred Hitchcock very famously said, I'm paraphrasing here, but,
Yeah.
I can set off an explosion and startle everybody, and they're going to have, 5 or 10 seconds of, of scintillation. If I show them a clock counting down with 5 minutes left on the timer, and then two people just continue to have a conversation, you have now 5 minutes of rising tension
Yeah.
waiting for that bomb to go off. So I would argue, I think they're rather than it being sort of lazy and obvious, I see where you're coming from. I personally interpreted it as much more of a kind of building tension in this Hitchcockian way.
Okay.
That
I definitely see where you're coming from.
Yeah, especially when he steps over the beer bottle the first time because like, "Oh, I know how this is gonna go. He's gonna slip on this beer bottle. Oh, wait, he stepped over it." And then the barbecue fork comes out and like, "Okay, wait, this is a recipe for disaster. Like, when is he gonna fall on it? When is he gonna fall on it?" So yes,
Yeah.
you are correct. We all know it's coming.
Yeah.
And we're waiting. That anticipation, I think, is the point of that scene. Okay, so the thing that you hated was the things that were kind of obvious and the continuity errors and things like that. Remind me what it was that you loved about it.
I did like the comedy and the
Oh, okay.
funny
Okay.
and the funniness. I mean, as it, you can't not
It is funny.
laugh at. I mean, just
Yeah.
especially that one scene where they're all falling and
Yes.
the bucks are all. I mean, oh my god, I could
Guns are
barely.
flying.
Yeah, I mean, you could not laugh at that. But yeah,
No.
I mean,
And especially
I
go ahead,
did
I'm sorry.
I did legitimately love that.
I get and yeah, this one I have a soft spot in my heart for this one because it is so funny. And not only do we get to see Jensen really flexing his comedy muscles because I mean he has an excellent sense of comedic timing, but we very rarely get to see Jared be funny. And
Yes.
because Sam and Jared is hilarious but
Yes.
he in person, but Sam is the straight man, so to get to see Jared kind of flex that part of his acting repertoire, I think, is a special treat in this one.
I love that. I lost my
I
shoe.
lost my shoe.
I don't
I
know
know.
why that line cracks me up so
Big
much.
guy. You see this 6'5" guy, like, I lost my shoe. And Jared has talked about that at conventions, that apparently because they wanted him to be able to like pull the shoe off, so they put what amounted to a giant staple in the bottom so that there would be something on the bottom of the shoe that would catch on the grate for him to be able to
Oh,
pull the shoe off. But now he's walking around for the entire scene up to that point with like a giant rock in his shoe, like this giant, like the prongs of the staple digging into the
oh,
bottom of his face.
oh.
uh, okay, for me, and I know I talked about this a little bit when we were watching it, but that scene in the storage locker, I think is genius. And it's something that Ben Edlund is really good at is communicating a lot with very little. And again, we get this moment where we see so like the boys had no idea that storage locker was there. So now what John thought was gonna happen to it in the event of his untimely demise, I don't know. Um, but he again, we see there are things that John didn't tell the boys. Yeah, and Bobby's like, "Oh, yeah, I built those curse boxes." Like, he knew
Yeah.
all about it, and nobody told Sam or Dean.
In
So we
fact,
start to get
there there's a line that, and I meant to point it out, and I couldn't quite catch it, that, that Dean says of, "You spend so much time with the man," and I know I'm paraphrasing it,
right.
but th you spend so much time with the man, yet you know something like, "You know so little," or, like, "There's so
Yeah.
much you don't know," or some
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And so, like, yes, John trained his boys to be hunters to keep them alive, but there's a lot he didn't tell them.
Yeah.
And I think there's some I think there's if we start to think about what his motivation might be, there's some interesting possibilities there of why he kept certain things from Sam and Dean. And the whole thing with the soccer trophy versus the sawed-off shotgun, and how, the sacrifices that Dean made so that his little brother could have some semblance of childhood that
Mhm.
Dean didn't have. So I just really think that it's special. And there's a special feature on the discs. It's an interview with Ben Edlund where he talks about this scene being like a love letter from John to the boys. That there's so
Ooh.
much of his personality in this room, and so if you have the time, like, kind of go back and sort of take a closer look at some of the stuff that's in that storage locker. It's a neat scene and I love it a lot. Hated the fact that Bella shot Sam. It's a bridge too far. That
Ye
the I can see you disagree with me, and I'm interested in your perspective. And just let me explain
Yeah,
why
no, go
I
ahead,
hate it
go
so
ahead.
much. So word came down from the studio that they wanted two female leads. And I'm going to talk more about this as the season progresses, but it, their heart wasn't in it, and these two characters are not written well, I don't think. Like, it's nothing against the actors, they weren't given a lot to work with. And they wanted Bella to be someone who was kind of a good foil for the boys. And we're gonna learn more about her as the season progresses, but she and Dean really are kind of two sides of the same coin. They have
Yeah,
quite a bit in common. Um, and it could have been a really interesting dynamic where you sort of love to hate her, and somebody
mhm,
who's every bit as smart and capable as the boys.
yeah,
It could have been really interesting. And instead, she shoots Sam. And again, if there's one thing Dean will not tolerate, it is somebody hurting his little brother. Yeah, and so any chance they had of building that kind of rapport between Bella and the boys, Bella and Dean in particular, I think, is gone in that moment. And so you instead of her being a character you love to hate, she's just a character you hate. And so I think she could have shot near Sam and made the same point without actually shooting him. Um, and it's just I think it sabotages everything that they will try to do the rest of the season with her character.
so I see where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Now clearly I have not read as much as you have, but
You're entitled to your
I
opinion.
I slightly disagree.
You can.
because to me, by shooting Sam, it shows just how gutsy and ballsy she is. And
Does
to
shooting
me,
somebody make you gutsy?
if you've got not in that realm,
Yeah,
to me,
I
put it
hear where you're
like
coming from, and again, like, I respect your point of view on this. I feel like, you know, uh, it's not even like Kubrick was prepared to shoot Sam because of something he believed in. Like, she believes in nothing, and if they wanna show that she's smart and capable and gutsy, there are far better ways to do that. Like, it doesn't take any courage at all to shoot an unarmed man. You know you can't ma
We've
like,
seen Dean do some things that one could question morality
oh,
on
indeed.
to
Absolutely. I'm not talking about morality, I'm talking about character development.
yeah, but I to me, they're almost they can be
They can
considered
be,
almost one of the same.
and I wish they had done that with her. And again, I respect your position. Obviously, I have a different way of thinking about it than you do,
Yeah.
and just for me, I feel like um they Bella gets the short end of the stick. That they could have done so much better with her than they did.
And to me, sort of like the phone call in jail, they've had they've had 3 seasons with Dean to tweak and play around with that character where they have not had that amount of time with her.
And
So they have to kind of show the extreme she's willing to go in a much shorter period of time.
I hear where you're coming from. And like I said, I respect your opinion. I just knowing how the rest of the season goes with her, I feel like this is, pardon the pun, they shot themselves in the foot too early with her.
Yeah.
You hurt my Sammy. There is no forgiveness. All
Yeah.
right. That is our last call. Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with Lynn or do you agree with me? Or do you have a different opinion entirely? We'd love to hear from you.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Hold on.
one
You're
last
I was going to say you're too quick for me. Hold on. Cheers.
cheers. All right, that is last call. Thanks so much for coming along with us for the ride. If you like what we're doing here, be sure to tell your friends. Please also like our videos and subscribe so it's easier for other people to find us too.
And if you want to see us do some more bonus episodes, Lord knows I am itching to do one. Please give us some topics so that we can put them in Ask Jared so that you can see Liz and I just off the cusp and really not knowing what we're going to talk about. So we put our hand in that jar and God knows when you put a few cocktails in us and just have us go off topic, God knows what's going to come out of our mouth.
Anything can and will happen. We
Amen to
love to
that.
hear from we love to hear from our SPN family. Comment, send us an email at hunterfuelpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hunter Fuel Podcast. In our next episode, we will be discussing season 3, episode 4, when Sam and Dean meet Richie's niece. Until then, stay safe, everybody. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.